Alright, you guys, it's gonna be a long fucking time before anything happens on YouTube. I just got into a really bad accident. I literally just got peeled off the road, and this bike is fucked. Fork tubes are bent, the plane's destroyed, the crash cage is destroyed, the whole tail section looks bent, the gas tank's fucked. It's gonna be a long time before I get back on the road. Anyhow, it's now Thursday, almost 1 week since the accident, and I feel alright. I got a lot of me put back together. Just some road rash and a lot of bruising. But the poor bike, let's try get this door open there. The poor bike caught the worst of it. And I've been trying in the last few days to put the whole bike back together. But she ain't gonna be pretty. So, we got a bunch of zip ties here, some black spray paint. And I had to beat the tank down a little bit. I was trying to make it symmetrical because when it hit in the crash, this whole corner of the tank was crooked and bent down real bad. Had to buy a new stator cover. Actually, I didn't buy it. Larry Jordan from Michigan Riders, thank you very much. He hooked me up with this stator cover for free. Had a good stator in it too, so double bonus. When I first bought the bike, there was all kinds of things I wanted to do. So like if you notice, I put a different exhaust on it. So with the same principle, I still had a ton of plastics, plus yellow plastics up in the rafters. I've got some silver plastics here, a tail there, extra fenders. This is all that's left of that front end. And that cage got worked. I'm gonna have to get a new cage. I only got one side that's good. So luckily nobody took me up on my offer for the little puck sliders, little frame sliders. When I got the cage, I had offered them up to anybody that wanted them, that could use them, and I'm so glad nobody took me up on that offer because, well, here we are. I needed them. This is my throttle clip-on. I don't know if you guys can see just how bent that thing is. So that was garbage. Had to buy another clip-on. So this is the new clip-on here. That's the old clip-on, all grinded off with my fork adjusters and the top of my fucking steering stabilizer. But I got this put back on yesterday. Got the throttle tube, all these adjusted, new clip-on. I've got the other clip-on over there. I just don't think that these two marring marks are worth changing it for. But yeah, I got to do a few more things. I got to get an upper fairing stay. The tip sensor. I kept trying to start the bike and I didn't have the headlights in, and I didn't realize that, well, I didn't realize two things. A, that the bike wasn't going to work without the tip sensor being attached, and B, that without the tip sensor there'd be no fuel pump prime. So after pushing it down the driveway a bunch of times trying to start it because the battery is dead because my dumbass left the key on, So after trying to push it down the driveway a few times and jump on it to get it started, I realized that I wasn't even getting fuel prime because I didn't have a tip sensor. So I grabbed my headlight, plugged it all in, and I had the headlight sitting here like that, and I tried to push it again, and I still wasn't getting fuel prime. And I'm like, well, what in the goddamn is the problem? This was the problem. The headlight had the tip sensor. It had to be right side up. So once I flipped the headlight over and recycled the key, the fuel primed fine. And then I pushed it like 5 feet and it fired right up. So much to my chagrin, it was up and running. So I took it for a little ride, and yeah. Let's see if we got any battery power. Nope. But, so I zip tied my gauge cluster, my broken gauge cluster, back to my lower fairing stay. I'm still waiting on the upper fairing stay to come in. Then I can mount my headlight back in here, a windshield, and maybe some mirrors. I don't know if I'm going to put mirrors back on this. I don't know if it's a law, but I'd like to just cut it clean off there and then just have this lower half. I was even at a point where I was like, I had this piece of plexiglass, and I was thinking I could cut it and bend it and just put some holes in it and make it. So if I can get away with cutting off the mirrors and not be in trouble, like legally, you know, am I allowed to ride without mirrors? I don't know. Michigan, I don't know. I'll have to find out before I do it. But yeah, because then I could just make the plexiglass, spray paint it black, mount it, windshield's taken care of. I don't have to waste $20 on a windshield. Yeah, I already have the upper fairing stay ordered. I got to get some new levers. These things, they didn't fare very well in the accident. Once they got hit on the ground, like, that one's not that loose. That's not bad at all, actually. But this one, that's a lot of play out of a thing. So, again, like I said, thankfully I never get rid of anything, because here's my stock levers. So stock levers are going to go on, at least on the one side, until I can get a new set of adjustables ordered. Whoop. Throw that. Oh, I hit my headlight. Didn't want to do that. So yeah, levers until I can get that ordered. Oh, I didn't bring my bar end down. But I did manage to find it after the accident. It was against the curb. So I'm going to try to get this guy mounted back in, and that'll make this whole thing feel more complete. Oh, damn it. I mean, I've got a brand new version of this that doesn't have all these scratches, but I didn't want to put that on because it's brand new, and all of this gold is super sun faded. So, like, look at how faded it is from the top side to the bottom side. So again, I didn't want to put the brand new one on because I just figured it wouldn't match very well. Oh yeah, scraped that to pieces. Dude, I've found so much shit that I've done to this bike in that accident. I guess I didn't do a good job explaining the whole accident, so let's do that real quick. I was on 696, and I was headed to Walmart, because Walmart online showed availability of a GoPro microphone that was a lapel mic that came out to a micro USB, or yeah, it's a micro USB. Because GoPro recently switched to USB Type-C as their proprietary charging and information ports. I ordered a connector or an adapter, but they all came micro USB Type-C to 3.5 millimeter jack. So obviously those aren't going to work. But yeah, I digress. I was on my way to Wally World so that I could pick up a microphone, and I was on 696 cruising in the fast lane. My exit kind of appeared. It showed up on me, so I go from the left lane across 3 lanes to the exit. I assumed that the guy in front of me didn't like that, because what I thought was him brake checking me was actually him just stopping way too abruptly for a red light. So as he brake checked me, I went around him. The problem with that was he was the first car at a red light for a turnaround on the service drive. So as I went around him, an SUV was proceeding on his green light, completely in the right. But we collided right in the intersection. The front tire was the first thing that kind of touched. Like, I tried to stop, but I slid into the side of him. When the tire on the upstroke caught my cage, it flung my cage and my bike and me up over the front of the bike. It slammed me to the ground, but it sent the bike tumbling end over end. And yeah, that was like the worst. Like, because none of the crash cage is going to protect that. I don't have a 12 o'clock bar or an upper fairing stay, a stunt stay. So there was no chance. By the time I was tumbling and sliding and I got right side up and I looked back at my bike, for all intents and purposes, we'll use this as my bike. Say that's the fairing, that's the back wheel. It is upside down on the curb, sliding the gas tank and windshield to pieces, headed towards Van Dyke and 11 Mile. But I got a lot of photos. I'll probably insert them here. All those. I'm not hurt. I didn't break anything. I'm very sore. I got a whole lot of bruises and a bit of road rash, but I'm very lucky I made it out of there. Yeah. So, basically, I come to a rest. I get up. I pick up all my stuff out of the road because I'm like, well, shit, I got to get this up before the light turns green and everybody runs the rest of my shit over. So I pick up my shoes, my hat, the back seat to the bike, the gauge cluster, fuck, man, the mirrors, the bar end that I found against the curb, and I drug it all into Discount Tires parking lot where the stator case for the bike was broken, and what I thought leaked all the oil out. It didn't. It wasn't even close to all the oil. Turns out a little bit of oil on blacktop makes a really big mess because I bought 4 quarts of new oil. Didn't think to drain the original oil because of how much it hit the ground during the accident. I assumed it just leaked all of it out. So I added 3 quarts and then went to go check my view window, only to find out that it still had 2 quarts in it. So everything that I had added to it was over. I had to drain the engine. I way overfilled the engine with oil. And so now I had old oil mixed with new oil, waste of $40, a whole a whole big fiasco that didn't need. It was primarily my impatience wanting to get the bike started. I got the stator cover on and just ran out and bought some oil. And instead of like doing a pre-check to make sure how much oil was there, what I actually needed, I just started dumping oil in because I was excited. And the problem with that, obviously, is I overfilled it and I had to drain it. But, see, these are the Woodcraft frame sliders. I'm glad that nobody took me up on the offer because I needed those to mount my motor back on the bike. So, that's pretty much the story, man. The bike's a little worse for wear. The rear subcage is slightly bent down, but it's not bad. But the clip-ons are on. The throttle return is working again. Yeah, man. I need to go take it for a ride and see if I think that the wheel's bent. Or not the wheel, but the front fork and frame setup shit. Alright, you guys, we're pushing 13 minutes and 13 seconds. Ooh, lucky, 13:13. So, that's pretty much it. I'm going to wrap up this video. I'm iDude. This is my smashed bike. And, she's coming back together quicker than I thought. So, we'll see you guys in the next video. I don't know. I don't even know what the next video is going to be, so. Or when it will be. I've got a lot of new old stock and a lot of back footage that I'm going to try to push out, and we'll see how well that stuff does. But until then, you guys, I'm iDude. Like, comment, subscribe. It's a little bit of a setback, but we're going to be back on the bike in no time. Catch you guys later.